a little bit of a late start today, but we are going back on New Horizons. We have Avery with his recap from Java's perspective.
So, in last week's session, we were left in a tiny, unimpressive cave, waiting to get shot again, and trying to decide how we're going to get out of this alive. We chose our path and descended as grav tanks collapsed the cave above us that we had just been hiding in. As Saoirse can't heal either myself or Brother Nick anymore, we decided to leave with the first wave. Our teleporter let us know that it would take only 3 trips. I hope that we can hold out for just a little longer.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, Avery. Yeah, Brother Nick and Java have been whisked away with the other Uralans who managed to escape in the first wave.
Hey guys, look at it this way. If there's a TPK of those left behind, you remain.
Also true.
Mm-hmm.
So comforting. So yeah, we left off with the rest of the group, plus Fred and George, waiting in this larger cave deeper into the mountain, waiting for an extraction. They tacked up a tarp over the tunnel mouth and have
And
pretty much
had to be sneaky about it for some reason.
true.
Hmm.
And let's see here. Me.
So a little bit of out of character while Ben is getting stuff ready. I have been
Right.
really intrigued, just talking with my fellow players. I've kind of been intrigued about what else is in the cave. But I know that sounds like a plot line to like a B-list horror movie, so I was gonna say since Saoirse can still heal everybody else that's there though, and it doesn't cost her anything, then I feel like it wouldn't be terrible for us to explore. I don't know. I just think it's like something different than what we've been doing because it's kind of the scariest thing we've done since discovering that ship outside of Anagris, with all of the bug type things. And I don't know. I thought it might be fun, but I can't really think of like a plot reason that we would go further into the caves. I was just wondering if anyone else was also curious about that.
Yes.
Maybe a little.
Ethan, Avery, are you guys curious at all, or are you like,
I'm
whatever?
curious.
But as George
I've been in this cave.
for a long time.
Oh boy.
What is happening?
What happened?
This
Is
is George.
Java sucking helium for comfort?
No, this is
George.
But you're going back and
Oh, is
forth
it
between
mine?
deep voice and high helium voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may not
This
sound
is
like
really
you think it
hilarious.
sounds.
You sound like Alvin the chipmunk going through puberty is what you sound like.
Yes.
What
Fine, I'll talk.
Dave? I've always sounded like this.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so George voice take 1 did not work the way it was supposed to.
I wondered if that was what you were trying to do.
Oh, it didn't sound like that before, so I don't know what happened.
We're doing it live, folks.
Hey.
Alive before the GM kills us.
Oh my word.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so
Hey, you didn't have to confirm that.
Oh my word.
Allow me the delusion of
Wait, what?
that cave surviving.
What
Oh.
are you, his Roll20 wife?
I didn't say anything. What are you talking about?
Ugh,
I'm out.
I hate
You're
how
hearing
this
things.
dress looks on me. Yeah, you didn't have to confirm that.
Well, like, babe,
Oh
you don't want
man.
me to agree with you? Yeah, it's example 1 of 1,000,000 of the various ways in which you are doomed if you agree and doomed if you disagree.
Uh
Oh
huh.
my.
Yep.
No.
Doom on you.
Hmm. My kid. That's a pretty straightforward one. Pretty easy case of tell your wife she's pretty.
Throw chocolates at her from across the room, or until the hissing subsides.
That's
Right.
the important part.
Yeah, the chocolate. Oh, the
No, the
hissing
hissing.
subsiding or the chocolate?
The hissing.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. All right. So sorry, Ben. I hope that wasn't too much of a derail. I just wanted to talk about it while you were stuff ready.
Yeah, so I was just going to get a quick idea of what the party is doing, if anything, while they wait. Are they kind of sitting in a huddle, twiddling thumbs, helping
Well,
to run out the clock, or are they doing something more proactive?
no, Nero had thought that the idea was that this would collapse and block that entire tunnel. So she's after she finishes helping Brother Nick with the tarp, I think you guys had her doing something else too. I can't remember what it was. Um, anyways, she is uh, you know what? I opened my mouth before I knew what I was gonna say.
I'll interject to say that
Okay.
she also was feeling somewhat bad about having eaten rice cake right in front of these guys who've been on
Yes.
partial rations for days.
And then she gave them rations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
she got chewed out.
she was making haha, but uh she's been making friends with the new guys.
Yeah. So I think after she's finished with that, she is looking around to see what kind of defensive position we can take, and she'll mutter, "I didn't think they would get through. They shouldn't have gotten through. The bomb didn't work."
Okay.
Uh, who's by her when she's saying all this? Like, where's she standing and
Anyone.
stuff?
Yeah, I was gonna say that you guys are close enough in this cavern, and there's gonna be a slight echo to anything above a whisper anyway.
Yeah. She is looking around. She's been re-energized. Now she's looking around for how to get out of this alive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Cade did start to set up a trap using a flare to kind of hint that we went in the direction of the bats and covered it up to kind of hide it.
That's what that sneak
So,
was.
yep, that's what that sneaky bit was.
All right, I'm going to need a notice check from someone.
Oh,
Oh
put that on
my.
Nero. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I didn't pull out
And
the Nero pog before we started broadcasting, so I have to go find it. Or the
that's
Nero
right.
character sheet.
So while you guys are doing that, I'll just note that to Dex's comment about looking for defensive positions, this cavern is it's a fairly uneven floor. It has some rises and dips. It's also got quite a number of stalagmites, which are the ones coming up from the ground. Uh, many of which are large enough for a person to huddle behind and take some shelter.
Nice.
Cade is already in, shelter.
Okay. Um,
Okay.
so Narrow is still really close to the tarp that's covering that tunnel. And as she's starting to scope out the area looking for good spots to lay in wait, maybe set up an ambush, she faintly hears the flapping of wings coming from behind the tarp and
Hmm.
some sort of rasping, scraping sound.
Yikes.
Uh,
She just barely catches it as she's talking.
I'm no longer interested. I would like to retract my previous statement.
Yeah, no,
Act
thank
on
you.
the way we found those poisonous bats or whatever, or the rabies bats.
Nero will instantly stop talking about defensive positions and shut up. And she'll whisper into comms, "Guys, bats in here. There's something else in here.
All right, Saoirse's gonna say, "Did you see that as rats?"
The
There,
bats.
of course. Well, of course, there's bats in a cave.
S-
What you on
This
about?
sounds bigger. Behind the tarp."
Saoirse's gonna get real quiet when she hears that. How do you mean? Are you talking like this 180 to 80s, or are you talking about like maybe it's a little unnatural?
Nero listens. Did you hear anything else?
She still hears the scraping, and it's getting slowly but steadily louder.
Shoot.
It's crawling
And
towards us.
the flapping of wings becomes the plasticky rattling of the tarp, as apparently these bats fly straight into the tarp and are flailing around a bit.
Oh. Oh.
Do we
So
have
how
another
does Nero
bomb?
describe that?
Yeah, I think she says,
At this point, everyone would notice the flailing
okay,
of the
okay.
tarp.
So then she'll just say, "Do we have any more bombs?"
It's gonna kill us.
Oh my stars.
Cade will look at Nero and say, "Was it Brother Nick the one carrying them? He went with the teleporter first."
Saoirse will maybe make an offer of, was there something I could do to help you with that? Or are you just wanting another boom?
Maybe you could stuff the hole with enough rocks that they can't get through?
She's waiting for Nero to answer if Nero wants to answer.
Gosh. Um, she said, "Yeah, maybe rocks or that tele thing."
Tell a thing. All right.
And at this point, Nero is actually just ignoring George and Fred.
Where she is.
Yeah, George is he's in some doom and gloom right now. All right, so I guess I'm gonna, in terms of the explosives question, I don't think it's unreasonable to suppose he might have left his last demo charge with someone. Ethan, what do you think?
Oh, I thought we had used them all up. But yeah, I guess if he had one left, he would have left it.
It might
I
not
think
have
you
been a
had
good idea for him to leave it.
I think you had two because you had
Didn't we
two when
put
you were
one on the mouth of the cave
you
and one over
did.
that tunnel?
No, you just ended up putting one at the top of the
Oh,
tunnel.
okay. So then there would still be one. Yeah.
Hmm.
But would Brother Nick have left it behind?
Yeah. I don't think he would have left it for bats, but he probably would have left it behind.
Okay. But do we have the ability to turn it into a shaped charge?
If anybody has explosive knowledge, or I think fix 0.
Mhm.
Nope.
I'll
Not
say
it.
I'd say that both George and Fred would have that.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't think anybody in her rebel days would have trusted Nero with explosives.
No, probably not.
No one should trust Cade with them either. It's simply the attempt will make him go boom.
Oh my. It's a good thing none of this is in character. 'Cause Saoirse would just be like increasingly concerned.
Yeah.
How big is this cavern, Ben?
The cavern, I believe I said, was in the range of 50 meters across, if my memory serves me.
So just big enough to pulp us if we set it off too close.
Pulp us.
Yeah.
The radius on those things is pretty huge.
Yeah.
It's enormous.
It's 40 meters.
All right. Well, what are we doing?
Is concussion not a thing too? Like closed place.
But we
and-
also may need that for the soldiers, right?
Yeah, I think hold
Concussion's
on
probably hazard.
to this. I don't think Fred will endorse blowing up the bats.
I mean, if it's bad enough, we could just have
It's bad
Saoirse
enough.
yeet it down the tunnel as it explodes.
Yeet.
Yeah.
Yeet it.
Yeet it.
Give it the good old yeet.
Wait, and aren't
I'm
the bats under a
picturing,
tarp?
Yeah, they're flapping against the tarp right now.
Could
There was
Saoirse lift a tarp?
Wait, what? Who's lifting the tarp?
Could we use the tele thingy to lift a tarp? And then like as a bag, just throw the bats into the wall? Like soap in a sock in prison, but bats in a tarp in a cave.
Oh my goodness. And here we learn how dark Avery truly is.
Oh boy.
He's like a cinnamon roll with cyanide for icing.
Your favorite flavor.
Your
wow.
favorite flavor. At least it's the last flavor you'll ever taste.
No thanks. Not interested in almonds today.
Oh my.
Nero's looking around a little bit more wide-eyed. I don't know what to do about bats.
Stab them.
Okay. I'm going to need some, well, one last call for decisive action. Let me put it that way.
Why don't? Well, okay.
About wait, a decisive action about the bats.
Yeah.
Psychic slam him.
Narrow
Well,
is.
can I
Oh,
ask
sorry.
a
Go ahead, didn't you?
question? Oh, yeah. My
Uh,
question was, do we know if there are any psionic activities registered in animals?
Hmm.
And would Saoirse be able to use metapsionics to see if she can detect any kind of psychic capabilities happening within the cave?
I'll say that in the general understanding of, I guess, modern humans, animals don't have psychic abilities.
Right,
There
but
have been, of course, aliens discovered that
by
have,
us.
yes, that have held those sorts of abilities, and even Saoirse would recall that the some of the Jakari on the ship you first encountered them on were at the very least psychically sensitive. She was detecting some telepathic activity. Other than
Okay,
that, not
then
really.
yeah, I'll defer to what Dex was gonna say.
Well, looks like Robert was typing the same thing as I was.
yeah, I should have put it in the right thread though.
Yeah, that's fine. It was seen. I
Yeah.
think that the benefit with blocking instead of slamming and then letting it go when the Tsubukins get here is it gives the bats a target. Um, but narrow unless somebody comes up with a different idea in character, narrow is of the mind that we need to take option number one, and she'll start backing away from the tarp. Get into a tunnel. As a player, I'm personally more interested in number two.
All
I
right.
guess Cade will remember how we dealt with some unsavory individuals in the past to be like, can't we just like have Saoirse like cage the entrance thingy?
Right. So it
I
sounds like,
can't get through, and it doesn't
yeah,
have to stay past us leaving.
I will say on the mechanical level that if whatever is making those scraping sounds is bigger and can claw more heavily than a bunch of bats beating themselves against a window, it might end up being a substantial amount of effort for Saoirse to maintain any kind of bat cave cover.
True.
I guess it would be a bat hole cover.
I mean, if we hide in a different tunnel, we can just block it off with telekinetic construct. The only
Well,
problem is we have to save our teleporter friend.
that's what I mean, though, is if they can do damage to the telekinetic construct, then Saoirse would have to keep reapplying it.
Well, I just meant if we hide in a different tunnel, we can protect our tunnel.
Oh, I see
It
what you
doesn't have
mean.
to be obvious. The thing is, the teleporter's going to come back in the danger zone.
Uh, well, there's Nero's poor planning at the forefront.
I mean, Cade will leave his drone there.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Number four is combine one and two and block instead of the bat tunnel, the tarp, block off our little tunnel.
so
I,
I'll mention that uh, in the time looking around this large cavern, there were a couple spots that would, you might consider little nooks uh, off the main thing of the cavern. Not very deep at all, no more than a handful of feet, but could potentially provide a little bit of a hidey hole. There's also the other tunnel that shot off the main, I guess, the cavern where you met the Uralans originally, that none of you has explored yet.
Yeah, but uh that's quite a ways up with Tabukans climbing down into it.
Yeah, the Tabukans, if they are coming down, they'd be coming down pretty pretty close to right where that tunnel branches off. So
Hmm.
you have to do a good bit of backtracking.
How are we feeling about Robert's combined suggestion there?
Yeah, let's see. Okay, you can put a thumbs up there, or you can put a 2 on that one. It looks like 2 people. Okay, maybe just one person is still voting for 2. Ethan and Danielle have not. Okay, Ethan also
Yeah, I think I'm for combining them.
goes with that. So sounds like we've decided put a telekinetic construct to block the cave entrance, then leave a leave a demo charge next to it, maybe slash the drone.
Oh,
Uh,
I think Robert's idea was not blocking the cave with a tarp, but the cave that we hide in. Just want to clarity.
Yeah, so use the telekinetic construct to shield the tunnel we hide in only, and not against
hmm,
whatever's coming.
okay.
It still has to find us, and if it's not like this glowing green construct thing, that could be something that relatively matches and is relatively camouflaged. And if we're hiding in there, at that point we just need to rescue our teleporter, and the drone can be kind of like aerial reconnaissance slash sniping. So
Okay. I'll
with the
just
bomb as a backup if it's something truly horrifying coming through the tarp.
mhm. Okay. Let's see. So I will say that Susha does have enough effort to cover. Let's see, she has 3 uncommitted effort, so she could do 2 constructs and still have some left over. But it sounds like then you're actually saying leave the tarp to block whatever, and just try to book it for this other little nook.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't we
fall
don't need
back,
to spend all our
shield the
effort.
nook. Fall back, leave the bomb, shield the nook. Here, I'll just write it out.
Okay. Let's see. Whoever is going to give me whoever is going to be planting the bomb is going to need to give me an exert check.
Nero will offer to do it again. Actually, she'll be more demanding to do it. Give me the bomb.
And as she says this, the scraping sound is becoming obviously audible to everyone as it's echoing up the tunnel.
Does someone give her the bomb?
Yeah, I don't think we established who exactly Brother Nick had left it with, so we'll just say Nero has the bomb.
Oh well, okay. So
Maybe
so
somebody says, it's in your pack.
oh yeah. She scrambles to pull it out of her pack and then races over to the tarp
Okay.
And
Everyone else.
this is not shaping. This is just bomb,
Hmm.
unless somebody has
Okay.
instructed her properly.
Yeah, either George or Fred would at least they would know about shaping them and perhaps think to speak up.
Now George is gonna let her die.
Are you trying to kill us?
What?
Give me that thing. You're just gonna detonate it like that?
Yes. She hands it over to him.
I swear. I thought you were here to save us.
I am.
And then he fixes, you know,
Mm.
into a shape charge. Here,
Okay.
Which
like
side goes on the wall?
there's a sticker.
She turns it over and sees a sticker. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be like, yeah, you want to point that part towards the cave, the tunnel mouth.
And then she'll race it over and point the side with the sticker towards the tunnel mouth.
Okay. So meanwhile, everyone else is racing to follow. Suppose it was
Bam.
Cade that had found the nook.
Yep.
While Narrow's doing this. All right, a very solid exert and dex roll there. So Narrow's planting the charge, just finishes, shoving it in place, making sure it's secure, and is taking off in the other direction to begin a dead run when she hears a sort of hissing, sizzling sound
Of course.
and sees, if she glances back,
She does.
she sees several small holes appear in the tarp, and the fluttering of the bats becomes more intense, and
They're trying to escape this thing.
couple of them manage to rip through the holes that have now formed in the tarp, and
Jeez, Louise.
about all the time she has to notice. A couple seconds later, as she uh, hops a small crevasse, trying not to trip while she's running and checking behind her, detonator in hand. And she sees the tarp just get ripped to shreds as with a couple more bats flying out in front of it, and something a bit well, eh, trying to think how to start describing this. An enormous shape, I'll say, bursts out and continues uncoiling almost like a serpent, but the front of it is raised back up. I think maybe like a cobra, but it's got more of an apparent torso and a couple of large uh, praying mantis like arms.
It sounds terrifying.
And she can see that its
I'm sorry.
torso and then
You said a large praying mantis like arms. Can you give me a slightly less relative term, please? Are
so
we talking like it's a human size or
so
like
so the torso of the thing is a bit larger than it's a bit taller all told than your average human. But then at the base of the torso, it continues into some serpent-like body that some of which is still back in the tunnel, and it looks like it has a some sort of bony chitinous plating, segmented instead of snake scales.
This is when
And
I desperately wish that we were streaming with video because the look of horror that I can feel my face contorting into does not translate.
Hmm.
I
The
think if
death
nobody
scene.
stops him, Cade's already reaching to hit the button for the detonator. Just like looking at that thing going, nope. And just
Running into the other tunnel.
Yeah, and so the shaping of it means that anybody who's still running would still be safe. Uh, but yeah, everyone else is about to make it to this little nook in one side of this cavern. Narrow is still dashing and leaping little stalagmites and various rocky outcroppings. Yeah, I guess I may have misunderstood who was holding the detonator. Was it Kate or was it Narrow?
yeah, it was Cade.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think she would have passed it off to Cade
All right.
while it was being shaped by George.
Yeah, it sounds like Cade does it. Just almost reflexively. Sounds like.
Yeah, like what is that? And then as soon as he's seen it, just like click.
Yeah. So everyone has just a
All my
moment.
nopes.
They see
My
Yes.
nopes.
they see a moment of this thing uncoiling into the cavern. Its large gaping maw just bristling with teeth as it begins to well, it's also got some bat wings caught in some of those teeth.
It has. Oh, okay. I was about to say, if you gave this thing wings,
Oh my stars. Yeah, no, it sounds like we just helped it get its meal, is what it is. We caught
Uh,
I
its favorite
guess.
snack, quite a number of its favorite snacks.
I'm not that cruel.
What?
No giant bat-like wings unfurl from this thing's back. But if there are, you don't have time to see because that end of the cavern erupts into a blinding flash of light and fire, and a deafening boom echoes throughout the cavern.
I'm really hoping that Nero says something about like, boom too close, boom too close.
Well, she does now.
I'm sure she's got like a bleeding ear or something after that, being so close behind her. Thankfully, it was a shaped charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, say everyone's definitely got the impulse to clutch their heads in pain at the sheer volume.
Better that
Narrow
than
is
being caught by that thing.
yeah. Narrow is pelted with little pebbles and chips of rock.
Ow! Boom too close. Boom too close.
Well, she looks at him, Cade's just like white as a ghost. And he's not usually that white.
He's like, he's white, but this is like a whole new level of like liquid paper white.
No, he's Middle Eastern. He's not white.
He is now.
He's sort of olive complexion, but he is white now.
No, he is. He is
White as a ghost.
Yeah.
They could have sent
Okay.
anyone else. Y'all are the worst.
They could have said anyone else.
I think they tried, George. They got shot.
All right, quit running your pie hole and get in this tunnel.
I am. I don't want to get eaten.
So everyone's
She's gonna be also looking like straight at George and like giving him a really intense glare. Like, just get in the stupid tunnel already.
so this little dead end that Kate had found we'll say it's about 10 feet deep, angled pretty steeply downward from the larger cavern. Uh, this is this is where the water, some of the water trickles down into it and disappears into a thin crack at the back of this little nook. And right after the explosion, everybody but Nero is there, scrambling down into this hole. And does Nero look back before she clambers
Nah,
down in after them? Okay,
not this time. No, she
all right.
skitters and slides, and she will slam into whatever wall or person is there for her to slam into. Like not full throated running slam, but she is trying to slow down, just not that fast.
So
I
she's
nominate George.
well done, because that's exactly what happens. Nero comes running, skidding over the edge of this little opening to this small nook, and slides down, skidding on her boots, and catches herself on George.
The abuse this poor man is suffering. It's already been in a mine for 4 days, and now it's he gets us.
It could have been worse. It could have had the Tabukans.
I will grant that is probably the one option worse than us. Yes.
And I'm assuming Saoirse is
As a company excluded? Question mark?
is Saoirse slapping that telekinetic construct over the thing, and I guess tell me what form
You
this is
bet
taking.
your bonny blues I am. Trying to think what
Transparent, opaque, any particular design?
I want it to be opaque because I want it to confuse the beast if the beast relies on vision, as most mortals do. I'm hoping. Anyway, so yeah, she wants it to be opaque so that it will cover up our retreat and also make it second guess itself. Let's
Okay.
see. What do we feel about like netting or like a rock wall?
Just make it a rock wall. I agree. Yeah.
Razor blades.
If this thing is an apex predator, like it comes across as, I'm going to guess that razor blades are probably not something it's ever had as a problem before. So don't really
Stick
know if
some
that's
razor
gonna.
blades on the end of the force field, and he runs into some razor blades.
That's
Just saying.
fair. Just because it's
You're
too
getting
dumb to
prison
be
Avery today.
scared by it. Okay, crazy Avery. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. Sure. Rock wall. Make some particularly jagged, spiky rocks on the wall.
Okay. So we'll do that. And so you're now
Do we
all
have light in
trapped.
here?
You might.
Kate has a glow bug.
Oh, right.
He came prepared. He was the Boy
Yes.
Scout.
I think everybody has their flashlights from
Yeah, people have flashlights and
camping
stuff.
stuff.
Question: Was
Combat
he a
drone
Boy
is-
Scout before, during, or after the daddy issues began to manifest? I'm just asking. Curious.
Sometime around then?
No,
Yes?
contributing factor. Got it.
Maybe.
And
So
the factors leading up to chapter.
pertinent question here. Cade with the combat drone, it had a flashlight and a couple glow bugs hooked up to it.
Yes.
It
Um,
did.
the little camera on it was a bit scrambled by the sudden flash of light.
Yeah.
What would Cade have been doing with the drone?
He would have been steering it back away from the source of the blast, but keeping it pointed at that. If he confirms that the creature's dead, he's then gonna check the other entrance of the cavern.
Okay. So in in the immediate aftermath of the explosion, uh, the camera sorts out its visual sensors again, and there's a cloud of dust and rock dust and whatnot that's filling a lot of that area. The flashlight can't cut through that very well.
Yep.
But if he waits if he waits a few moments, really a matter of seconds, uh, the drone, as well as the rest of you, though a bit muffled, hear a sort of shrieking, hissing sound. And
Seriously?
there's some movement of it kind of faintly through the dust, and the drone sees this thing come slithering somewhat slower than it did before.
It
And
fires. it
all
just
right,
unload.
go ahead and give me a shoot, an attack from the drone with its gun.
This thing's terrifying.
As he starts unloading, he's registering in the camera's view that this thing is missing one of its arms now, and looks like it's missing quite a few pieces of its chitinous plating.
Well, I fired on burst, so it's
Wait,
getting
wait, 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 wait.
close to its last 4 shots, guys.
I have a
Mm.
question.
Okay,
Was
question.
something else attacking it, or was that just from you shooting it?
That's from
That's
the bomb.
before he starts shooting. That's like as he starts shooting, because he unloads like the moment he sees it slither out of the dust. But I was just
Mhm.
describing what it looks like as he starts lighting it up. All
Mhm.
right, so he
Okay.
peppers it with laser fire,
Uh-huh.
and its head whips around instantly, taking note of the laser fires. Uh, a lot of the shots seem to score into its exposed flesh, but a few, just are absorbed by the bone plating. It bares its toothy maw, and it seems to spit.
Bye bye, drone.
Don't you dare.
Oh, there we go.
Let's see if I can get this to actually roll. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So
Ouch.
the drone shudders and
Yeah.
kind of
From 18 to 8 hit points.
oh, it was
how
already down to 18.
did you?
Yes, it took damage in some of the fights.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep. Its AC is 16 though, so that wasn't so scary high of a mod. +7. Ah,
That's middle of the road these days.
I know.
um,
Ugh.
so does anyone from the inside the Nook want to go and get involved?
I don't think we can without Saoirse dropping the construct, can we?
Right. Um, what would Cade do with the drone?
He would start like strafing and putting it into evasive maneuvers and fire again.
Evasive maneuvers.
Yep.
Okay.
There's
Give
no
me
kamikaze sort of function to it. There's no like grenade strapped to it.
correct.
So just move it and
Um,
shoot.
give me
Scoot,
a let's see. Give me a survive check from Cade.
Oh, right. Different tab.
Is what Ethan posted in session chat an accurate picture, Ben? It looks like an accurate picture.
That actually that's pretty cool. That looks similar to what I was imagining, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yay! I googled snake monster and praying mantis monster and then stuck the arms on.
Oh, you made that. Okay, I was gonna say that's scary similar if you just found that somewhere.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Ethan hacking my Google search history.
Yeah.
That, yeah, that's pretty similar. Um, okay, so let's see. I'll say that Cade, let's see. I'd say that Cade recognizes that mm,
Oh, the drone is outclassed. I'm sure he
yeah, I
would
was gonna
know
say
that.
he definitely already knew that. I was trying to think how to phrase this in a way that makes sense and also doesn't accidentally reveal stuff I don't want to something you couldn't know yet.
Something we couldn't know yet.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Hmm.
Well, he might retreat the drone in the direction of the tunnel that the Tabukans would come from while still firing.
Yeah. Let me put
Smart.
it this way. Cade would know that um he would know that this creature has been provoked slash antagonized by having been blown up and now laser fired. Um, and without knowing its level of intelligence or necessarily motivations, he might just consider that the current approach could work, but not with the firepower he's got on the drone.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. So, um,
Well, at this point, he would expect to lose the drone to this thing because of how
okay,
scary, tough this thing is. It survived a bomb. The drone isn't really going to do more than just lure it away from them.
okay,
So yeah, the more I think
just
about it,
gonna
the more he probably would zip it towards the tunnel that the Tabukans would be coming from.
okay,
Maybe take a pot shot at it to keep it chasing it through there.
okay. So he'll do that. I'll pilot the drone towards the other side of the cavern and unload another burst fire.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll or just
Yeah, go ahead and do another roll.
okay. Yeah, you're confident this thing isn't gonna die.
I never said that.
You may as well have.
Wow, nat
Ooh.
20.
Bitey.
Yeah, that was actually an impressive roll.
Yeah.
All right. Scores several more hits into its flesh.
Just man, low damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the trade-off that the hacker drone shooter gets.
Mm-hmm.
You get to hit a lot, but you're still not a warrior with, all the foci.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
also more of a long range drone too, a harasser than a brawler.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So it zips away, and
If he makes it like to the spot where the rope area would be, he's just gonna send it up.
okay.
Like he's retreating back in the direction of the Tabukins and just gonna let them deal with
Yeah.
the snake monster.
Did we decide before how far it can move in a turn? I feel like this came up
It
before.
is in rules, but I have to refresh my mind.
I believe
Okay.
drones are 30 meters per round or 100 kilometers per hour outside of combat.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's 30 meters per round.
That sounds about right to me. Yeah. So, your drone is actually able to make it to the tunnel from whence
Yes,
ye
that is
all
correct.
came
Go
and
drone.
start zipping through. So, the rest of you huddle in the. You're huddling in this little nook.
I imagine everybody's watching
Yeah.
the video feed on Cade's tablet as everybody's
Crowding
just like,
around
"What
his.
is this thing?"
Is
Yeah.
George unwrapping his candy bar?
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Ooh. I was wondering if you were just taking a long, deep thought about the response.
I'll work on that now.
Okay. There are
Um,
two posted, just to
yeah.
let you know.
Oh my. Oh
So,
my.
yeah, Kate is able to make it to that tunnel entrance and realizes that his drone is moving a good bit quicker than that giant creature was.
It's
So he thinks,
also illuminated, so I don't think the creature's gonna stop.
Does it have to be illuminated though?
Yeah, we literally tied / glued glow bugs and a flashlight to it.
Yeah, that's fair.
okay.
I'm not going out there to take it off, boss.
I'm just making sure that it's not like. Never mind. It's fine.
You were checking. You were thinking maybe they had wired him up to the drone's
Yeah, to
control.
be able to control it, but
Mm.
you know, just expect you to be a lot smarter and things.
Oh.
Ouch. The quick and
Still
dirty
saving the
solution.
bacon right now, boss. Gotta get him out of there before our friend gets back.
All right. So the thing, that, as the rest of you are sitting in the nook waiting, the drone is zipping around through the little winding tunnel and the audio on the drone doesn't pick up any sounds of the bones scraping on stone or any other noises that creature might make. And the rest of you start to hear the scraping coming closer to the nook.
Wait, what?
It's not following the drone.
That's not good. soon as he realizes he's sending the drone back into the cavern to target the creature again.
Okay. So the rest of you hear the scraping stop, and as Cade peeps the drone back into the cavern, there's a considerable distance between the mouth of that tunnel and the little nook that everyone's huddled in behind this rock-like telekinetic construct, and uh, as his light illuminates the creature, it's looking around, and it's he can just make out that it's flicking its tongue around, but it's stopped, and it seems to be searching.
We needed to tie a stake to the drone. Nero does not say that. This is a silent moment.
Yeah, Cade would have done a very Abbott and Costello style slap if she did that.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So let me see here. All right, is Cade doing anything to intervene with using the drone?
Yeah, shoots again.
Okay. Is this his last shot?
He's got 3.
Okay, okay.
We've
He can,
got
if you want to
1,
extend
2.
his shooting ability, he could stop bursting.
No. Yeah, okay, fine. He'll stop bursting. He gives him 6 shots.
I mean, I'm not saying he
It
should.
only is
Just
like a +2 to damage, isn't it?
+2 to attack and damage. Bursting is good.
Yeah, well, the attack has been rolling super highly. So in that case, I think, yeah, I'm just gonna just single shot it, not burst. More
Okay.
pew is better than just a couple.
Yeah, because I think it uses up 3 ammo
Said
when it
no parent
bursts.
ever.
Oh, I thought it said 2. I have to check that again.
Oh.
Oh, you're right. I've been miscounting. Oh, you know what it is? I was mistaking it as based on a different RPG's burst rules and putting the 2 together.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why.
We'll say we'll say it's still got two ammo left. I don't
Okay.
might technically we'll not try to backtrack and extrapolate too far about whether or not it's completely depleted right now. We'll say he swapped out the battery at some point and saved himself some rounds.
Okay. So definitely burst is off then, because he's only got 2 shots left.
I was gonna say that sounds sufficiently intelligent enough to be Cade, so I think it's pretty in canon.
Yeah, even Robert miscounts.
Yeah, go
All
ahead
right
and give
then.
it another
Standard.
regular old shot.
Wow, that was a terrible roll this time.
Okay,
Pretty sure it
so
doesn't even hit the thing.
the laser fire basically scatters off of its plating and doesn't seem to harm the thing a bit, though it does it does turn to look at the drone, and doesn't do anything more to the drone. Just looks at it, hisses, bares its teeth, and
Bug.
goes back for a few more moments. It now slithers around just a little bit, testing the air, but it moves away from the nook and uh, slithers back towards its tunnel, shooting glances at the drone. There's more opportunity if Cade wants to try to light it up one last time.
Nope. If it's leaving, he's gonna let it leave.
Okay. It 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 slithers back over towards that deeper tunnel entrance, and now that the dust is cleared, Cade is able to watch with the drone as the thing uses its one arm to sift around in some of the rubble, and then it picks up a a pretty bloody large praying mantis arm
Oh boy.
and clenches it in its teeth and does the snake thing and swallows it whole.
If
And
he
then
regrows that arm from that, I'm gonna lose it.
and then goes seems to pick around in the rubble. Looks like he grabs a couple more little bat carcasses, wolfs those down, and then slithers into the hole through the tatters of the tarp.
Far, far.
Fortunately, none of you are close enough to hear any of the sounds it makes.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So,
Right, Saoirse's
we have a moment
looking
of rest.
over the group of people that they just ushered into this cave. What's the general feeling in the air? General mood.
Nauseous.
Nero is sulking. She's ignoring George, but that may be what it looks like to anyone else. But Saoirse, Cade, she's sulking.
Right. Saoirse's gonna ignore that. Just put a pin in that for later. What do we see of the cave we just ran into?
Sorry, what was the first part of that question?
What do we see of the cave we just ran into? Like what? Looking around. Turn on my
Okay.
flashlight or whatever.
It's pretty not really anything of note. It's fairly featureless. It's just got a few small stalactites and mites. It's got almost well, barely more than a trickle, little rivulet running down one edge of it into this little crack in the back of it, and there's a little bit of moss growing around the where the water flows. That's about it. A little bit of smattering of guano. Let's see. I'm realizing I need to elevate my feet. I think they are getting more swollen. So give me a moment.
Just a dead end.
Give me 5 here. Yeah, it's just a little dead end. You guys take a couple minutes to decide your next move. About 15 minutes have passed since you first came, or since the teleporter left. And you're expecting it to be about 15 more uh, before he should be able to come back.
Okay. Well, so we've still got Kate's drone as our lookout, right?
Yes.
Barely.
It's basically out of ammo at this point. It has one shot left. And 8 hit points.
I mean, can we just pull that back in, or
We can. We can even like swap the ammo cell.
I don't know if Ben's gonna let us pass anything through the telekinetic wall.
I mean, we'd have to make an opening for it, I guess. But like, how valuable is that item?
Oh, I don't know, 125,000 credits maybe?
What? Okay.
I'm
More,
trying to remember
more,
what we did for the math.
more importantly, though, can we talk for a second about the fact that our teleporter is going to be teleporting back into that section of the cave?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll probably want to get ourselves out and out of our little nook here and around where he indicated he was going to teleport.
I mean, do we think we could find another way out of the cave system? Like, or do we think this is just gonna be a never-ending series of tunnels?
We might be able to, but is that something we would want to?
Do we really want to fight whatever that thing was?
No.
We also don't want to leave the teleporter to discover it.
Correct.
I think, but we were able to message with the teleporter, right?
No, once we
Yeah, but
got
we're cut off,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, we were cut off before we even went deeper.
Okay. So we're not going to be able to get a message back to him. We've got to figure out how to take care of that thing, or how to get out of the tunnels before he teleports back where we can get signal. Ben, do the tunnels look like they're going downward or staying pretty level, or what can we notice about from what
Well,
we've
he
been
said this one goes
experiencing?
down.
This one goes
Yeah,
down.
this one angles
Yeah,
down
and it just
slightly.
kind of ends in a crack where water goes through.
Yeah.
The one that the giant serpent creature came from and returned to also angles down fairly sharply.
We could explore that.
Yeah, no.
All right,
How
Where's
so
the
we
about
secret adventure?
no?
you said there's water
Hmm.
coming through it. Is it fresh water?
It is.
Is it bubbling up like from a spring, or does it appear to be flowing down from something?
No, it's flowing down. You all had previously you noted a source of it on kind of the slightly higher end of this large cavern, and then this little rivulet is running through. It runs down the cavern and it kind of splits off a couple different places, um, seeming to run down inside the mountain. This is where one of those little offshoots goes.
I was trying to figure out if there was any way that I could telekinetically kind of make that wedge or crack larger, but
You want
realizing,
to try it?
wow, okay, no need to get offensive, sir.
No,
Um,
I'm just asking. I mean, because I'll just say, like, Saoirse wouldn't necessarily be able to just look at it and be like, "Oh yeah, obviously I can do whatever." When it comes to
yeah,
something like this,
she'd love to try it, except for she's concerned, like, what if I start flooding the cavern, or what if I,
mm,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
right.
But it obviously connects to something else with this water here. So she would like to try and widen the crack,
Uh-oh.
essentially.
Now, are you talking?
Oh
You're
boy.
widening the source or where
Maniac.
it's going in the little nook you're in?
Not further down.
Okay,
I
she's
want to
wanting to
go.
go back up.
I
Yeah.
want to go up.
Keep in mind, Danielle,
Okay.
that unless I'm mistaken, doing anything in the larger area, outside of the little nook that we're in, would require her to drop her construct.
Yeah, it would.
Hmm. Okay.
I think
Yeah,
we gotta go back and fight the old snake.
I would love it
Can
if
we
that were
not and
Fred.
say we did?
Yeah, is that
Sorry.
Fred saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Nero perks up.
What a man.
I'll fight the snake.
Tom is piping up telepathically to everyone, but also includes Fred in this. Wait, you saying you want to pursue that thing?
Saoirse is going to think very loudly to him. Humans are a wee bit on the crazy side sometimes.
Okay, if we have to fight the snake, I'll fight the snake.
Just
Yeah.
shakes his head.
Oh,
So
Tom, you're all gung ho about the blood when it's got 2 legs, but no legs. No.
I'm with Tom on this one.
and Fred will chip back in. Say, well, our buddy's coming back into where that snake is in a few minutes. I don't want him to be left alone in there with that thing.
I have the drone looking for it.
Right.
Yeah.
See if you can find it. Saoirse is going to, though, continue trying to widen that hole to see if, by any chance, sunlight might come through.
All right. So Saoirse goes off and tries pulling some rocks, shoving telekinetic force around, and she begins widening this crack in the wall of the cave here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the nook that we're
And
in, right?
sorry, what did you say, Danielle?
No, that was Dex.
Yeah, that was me. I know that I have a very
Well, no, he. I assumed you were asking Danielle, and she made some sound, but I didn't catch if she answered or not.
No,
No, I
I'm
didn't.
I'm asking you as your GM's mind's eye.
Oh, okay. I I thought she had said she wanted to go do it in the main cavern, but did she change her mind?
I don't. I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying earlier, but I did not understand you saying about doing it in the main cavern. Like I remember you saying we had seen a similar ravine in the main cavern, but I
Yes.
didn't understand that you were saying I should go try it in the main cavern.
No, I wasn't saying that. You said you wanted to try to go up and not down, and the place water is coming from, basically the higher end, is back in the main cavern. It's flowing downhill, part of it eventually seeping into the rock in this little nook you're in, which angles downward. Is that making sense?
I think.
So let's see. Let me just. Are you where you can see the roll 20?
Not yet.
Okay. Um. Yeah, I'm not sure how else to put it in words other than, if you guys want to keep huddling in the nook where you are, she could try widening the crack that goes deeper into the mountain. If she wants to lose the telekinetic construct and go try to widen the crack that goes upward, she'll have to go out into the main cavern for that. The large one from which the serpent beast just retreated. So
Okay.
bottom line, is she trying to go up, or is she trying to go deeper, or does she not care and is just trying to?
Well, I'm at the point where I don't really care. I feel sort of like I thought I had an option to not have to go out into the main cavern, and now it just kind of feels like
I'm not.
that's what you have to do. So,
No. It depends on what you want to accomplish. That you don't by any means have to go out into the main cavern. That's not what I'm trying to tell you.
no, I mean, it sounds that way from what you're describing and from what I want to accomplish. Then,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's what you're doing? Are you telling me?
I'm not just walking out into the main cavern. No, I'm like now that I know I can't do
Okay.
it from the nook that we're in. I will actually. I thought they were going to be trying to go out into the main cavern, and she was trying to find a way out from the nook they were in.
So, if I can jump in here, we do need to eventually. So that's been part of what some of the plans that we've thrown around, because we need to be out there and make sure that it's safe when the teleporter is supposed to be recharged in 15 minutes.
Yep.
So going out isn't a terrible idea, because it could let us meet any threats head on before the teleporter, instead of literally waiting until he teleports in and then all of us, including him, getting peppered with suppressive fire from a Tabukan heavy machine gun and suppressive spines from a Uralan heavy machine snake. So it's not entirely a bad idea to get out there and take out the threats beforehand. Um, but like for me,
I agree with you. I just felt like in character, Saoirse would be trying to find any other alternative.
yeah, and that's where I think the sticking point is right now we're safe. We're safe until we drop that, or at least we feel safe until we drop that wall that's keeping us in this little nook.
But Saoirse might be willing to, when realizing the futility and that they need to go out further, might say, what if we went out there while it's in its little nook, tunnel, whatever, and we put one of these constructs over that opening? put 2 constructs if we need to. I don't know. Is this not a good option? I'm not getting any replies.
No, Narrow. Sorry, I got distracted by quotes. Narrow is excited for this option.
Okay.
I'll protect you.
Saoirse would normally probably feel odd about that, but about somebody saying that, but she's just like so caught up in trying to figure out how to make this work that she just nods, and then you can tell she's deep in thought.
Alrighty. What's Kate doing with the drone?
Keeping a lookout.
All right. So within a couple minutes, he picks up on the drone's audio sensors the telltale whirring of drone
Yeah.
little suspensors. What? Is that the right word? Doesn't sound right to me.
Suspenders.
No.
Drone suspenders. That needs to be a meme that you make, Ethan. Drone suspenders.
Oh no. Anyways, um, really, just I guess they're little hover blades coming from the winding tunnel towards the surface.
Well, Cade will let everybody else to say, I hear incoming drones with my drone.
The Tabukans.
Yep.
So can we put up a third construct thingy and keep them from coming down here and keep the snake from coming in here? Close off anything else?
Susha has enough effort at the moment to do 2 constructs. One could go over the entrance that the snake went back down, and one could go over the other tunnel opening.
Yeah, I think Sir should try it.
Make it look like a wall, and they might not even think to try blasting through it.
Or make it just loop to the dangerous side of the cave.
Oh, that's
You just
fantastic.
build a funnel that moves him towards the snake.
Yes.
With your construct.
It's just a piece of
Yes.
elbow macaroni sized up.
I like this plan.
Oh man, if only she had enough to do that.
Oh, it would take more than the 2 efforts she's got left.
Oh yeah, because this is a huge cavern.
Oh,
relatively,
okay.
especially relative to how large her constructs can be. But
Yeah.
that would be quite a plan.
I mean, what if could she just do like a bubble around us where the teleporter is gonna come back?
She definitely could, but it would be depending on what sort of threats showed up, it wouldn't necessarily last for very long.
Yeah.
It's not exactly impenetrable.
Hmm.
You might recall it it occasionally burst under the force of a. I don't think a single sniper shot ever took it out, but having uh, I guess a burst of heavy machine laser fire took it out once.
Yeah, I think it did.
All right, so final verdict on force constructs.
Oh,
You
sounds
guys were
like
decided on one for the snake tunnel, right?
Yeah. Not to be confused with the tunnel snakes.
Or are they?
Does that
I
leave
don't
you
want to
enough
know.
effort to do anything that you need to do, Danielle?
I don't think I mean, this kind of takes priority, right? So,
Fair. Yeah.
So let's see. I don't want to get down too long a rabbit hole. I will say when it comes to making the force construct look like something specific, basically realistically look like something else. Uh, that's not specifically mentioned one way or the other in the technique. I lean towards saying that that the best you could do is more of a rough approximation. This is not illusion. This is not intended to be like an illusion power where you can, you know, plop down what looks like a garbage bin and all hide under it. Uh, it's it's seems to me, my impression is that it's a bit more rudimentary than that. Now, you can definitely do the shape, and I think we've established you can do some color. So, like before, you apparently got enough of a rough approximation of rocks and the right kind of grays that the snake creature didn't see through didn't spot, oh, that's obviously not rocks.
right.
So to the casual or perhaps um, the somewhat distracted observer, it'll probably work.
Non-human.
Yeah, and it'll be situational. I guess I'm wanting to make sure you kind of have expectations that there there will be plenty of times where somebody will be able to see, oh, that doesn't look quite right if you're
I'm
trying to nail something
imagining
specific.
like watching old Scooby-Doo animations when you're like trying to figure out what part of the animation is going to move. You're like that animation cell is colored differently than the rest. That's what we're looking for.
That's actually a pretty good analogy. I like that. That's very much the idea I had in mind.
There we go. Dibs on being Velma.
That's funny. Like the moment you mentioned Scooby Doo, I knew exactly where you were going with that. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Actually, no, Cade would be Velma.
Oh,
I don't know who that makes me.
I thought Cade was gonna be Scooby Doo, but okay.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Well, I guess Narrow is Fred.
I
I don't
it
know.
we've done the Scooby Doo comparisons before, and it didn't work out then. But I'm still gonna make the point that Nero is bribable with snacks.
That's
Okay,
true.
that's true.
Okay,
That's true.
I revised my previous estimation.
That was in my statement.
Exactly. Right. Well, let's see. Okay,
So
so
Saoirse's going to use that effort to make a construct over the beast's entrance, essentially.
okay, and she's doing the same for the other tunnel entrance from whence the Tabukan drone is about to probably come?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
What is this?
And Nero is right up there with her. Wherever she needs to go outside the nook, Nero's there with her.
Okay. So Saoirse's being called in multiple directions. She quickly focuses and conjures up telekinetic constructs in the right places and recognizes the familiar feeling, though she hasn't been there in a while, of being completely tapped out effort wise. She's, it's at this point she might become more aware of the fact that she's been maintaining her telekinetic armory in the back of her mind. It's practically second nature anymore.
Yeah.
Um, so she has that one effort that she could reclaim if she needed to. Otherwise, she does. Let me just. I believe you have. Yeah.
I also have that vial, right?
The vial.
The vial in my arm?
Oh,
Or is
yes.
that different?
Oh,
That
we should have
is.
used that on the snake.
Ooh, blast from the past.
Yeah.
That's something else. That was.
Okay.
I don't believe that was psychoactive. Um, I was just going to remind you that being a metapsionic of level 4, you get a bit of a safer version of torching that just costs you hit points instead of making you roll
Okay.
the dice and see if you lose stats.
Okay.
Oh wow.
The
That's nice.
the caveat, and it bears reading, but basically it's more permanent damage than normal stuff, and you just have to sleep it off, basically. Um, so it's still serious, but you can potentially handle it a little better. Um, anyway, so she pushes herself to the limit, seals off both tunnel entrances, and um, within a few seconds, anyone close to the entrance tunnel would be able to faintly hear the whirring of the drone on the other side of that telekinetic force construct.
I think at this point, if people are still in the nook, well, okay, is the nook does the nook have good cover from anyone that might break through Saoirse's telekinetic force contract?
It does actually.
Okay. All right. Then if Saoirse doesn't do it herself, Nero starts pulling her to a position behind stalagmite cover. Like,
There's just gonna let herself be pulled along. You kind of get the feeling that this is like Saoirse before she's had coffee in the morning. But you know she had coffee today.
uh-huh.
Or at least that's what Nero would be thinking, probably.
Yeah, and it shows in Nero when she says, "And don't get bit by bats." Like as if she's, telling a child how to not die.
Oh, my word.
And then Nero will find other cover for herself so that they're not right next to each other.
Alrighty, so I'll take in cover.
Saoirse's brain is trying to compute why Nero would think she wanted to get bit by bats.
And I got 3 quotes. Granted, I put one of them in myself, but still.
Those count as long as they don't get vetoed. Let's see then. Okay, 11:12. So we're approaching the end of our session. We might go, depending on how everybody feels about it. We're not going to go way over, but we could potentially go a couple minutes over if people really wanted to. But I think we might be on track here. Let's see.
Hey, Robert said he can go until 11:45.
Well, that's my hard cutoff.
Okay. So no, it sounds like that's the time. That's basically around when we usually get done with faves and whatnot,
Yeah.
roughly, if we end on time. So let's try to wrap up here in 15 minutes or so. Several minutes pass. Anxious minutes. The faint dripping of water serving as a backdrop for the clock ticking down. And nothing stirs in the cavern. Still, maddening silence. The anticipation weighing on all of you. Danielle, are you muted? I thought I heard her talking through the door. But
We can't
can you
hear
guys
you
hear
if
me?
you are talking, Daniel.
Okay. Well, oh, whoops. Hello, Danielle, you there?
Apparently not.
Nope.
Hmm.
Still can't hear her.
Odd. Uh,
Nope.
hmm.
I like
Well,
how all I said was nope, and she's just
she just leaves.
just signed right off.
Yeah. Danielle? Hmm.
Got to be
Well,
a physical mute.
yeah, we've got some technical difficulties, unfortunately. So
Yep.
I'm assuming she would have tried her phone already, and so it's odd that that's not working either.
George crunches on his Snicker bar in silence.
Yeah, I was say, knowing that she's trying to interact. Let me go check on that real quick. I'm gonna try
Okay.
very quick. I'll be right back.
Out of character, I feel really bad for taking the Snickers bar. But George is a jerk.
It's okay. If you want any consoling feelings, it's not entirely a bad thing for Nero to be reminded sometimes when she's not being considerate of others, which is it's kind of funny because she's been one of the more considerate party members, just not when food's concerned. At least I think she has. We've had varying levels of considerativeness. Considerativity? Yeah, I think that's the right word.
Pavatov.
Also, good. George is a jerk.
Do you think that giving him the Snickers bar calmed him down a little bit? He could have been much more of a jerk, but who can be a jerk when you're eating a Snickers bar?
Okay.
Right?
I am back. Was Danielle able to connect?
She has not been able to yet.
She's on, but I don't hear her.
Okay. Sorry, that took a couple minutes longer than I planned. I can hardly walk right now.
Oh,
Not good. Basically just my left ankle being it was hurting today because it's been swelling from these bites, I assume. And it was just kind of a dull ache occasionally. But yeah, I stood up to go walk and I almost fell over because my ankle just said nope. Anyway, um, well, if Danielle can hear us, she's typing now. Let me get back to the point, not digress on non-session stuff. Um, sorry, Danielle, you might just have to type your responses. It's just setting the scene that minutes are ticking down as there are force constructs covering both tunnel entrances to this cavern, and nothing is apparently happening. Um, and the time counts down until you've got about 1 minute remaining. And there is a bit of an explosion that you both hear and feel distantly coming from further towards the entrance, the cavern that you all had abandoned before. Oh wait, what? Wow, rude. Yeah.
no, continue.
Hmm. Did you have something to say, Dex?
Nope.
Okay, let the record show that Dex did not actually want to say anything. Just falsely claiming oppression in the chat. No. Anyways, uh,
As we completely derail our GM. Sorry,
yeah,
man.
it's okay. It's par for the course. I'm sure this is part of what I would experience if I were to take an improv class. You know, I try to continue doing my thing while people shout random things and try to distract me.
I don't know if people that do improv are jerks, though.
Oh man. Um. Yeah. So I guess without belaboring the point, as you're all in your various positions, waiting, Saoirse hears the telltale sign of teleportation being activated on over at one side of the room, right next to the snake tunnel entrance.
Oh. Did our guy pick that? I thought he had walked farther in.
So the snake tunnel is, it's kind of on the far side of the cavern from where you guys came into it.
Oh, I was thinking they were on the same wall. I had a bad visual. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
So he
but yeah,
he did
so
walk farther in, and that's why. Okay.
yeah, he'd kind of blipped all around, got over there, and that's where he ended up getting bit. Was on kind of that far side of the cavern.
That makes sense. Okay.
So he appears, and as everyone, as he calls out to everyone, ah, it's good to see you're all still here. Quick, gather around.
No, get away from there. Come closer to us.
Oh, okay. And he'll blink out of sight and appear about 10 meters closer to you. It's at about this time that the force construct guarding the entrance to the cavern shudders under a heavy blow of some kind and dissipates, revealing letting through a small cloud of rock dust and smoke. And a pair of armored Bukan soldiers appear in the opening,
Sweet.
leveling guns towards you.
Nero shoots them.
Yeah, Fred starts blasting.
All right, everybody, give me your shoot rolls. You were well prepared for all this. You can all take a modifier of 2 to your rolls here.
All right.
Plus
Like a
2,
shoot
huh?
skill check
Mhm.
or a weapon roll.
Weapon rolls.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that with just like laser
Click the
rifle. I guess?
weapon.
Let's see. Do you guys did I add those for them?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, it does give
Oh.
a modifier. It asked me burst fire first, which yes.
Okay. I was gonna say I couldn't remember how exactly I'd configured their weapon stuff. All right. Wow.
I forgot to add the +2.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
That was a close
You
one.
forgot the +2. You missed.
Those
Yeah.
34 AC power armors, man. Get you every time.
Wow.
Hey,
Now?
there's Danielle.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey.
there you go. You're back.
Yay.
Well, Danielle
Oh, time to end
appears.
the session.
Right? Time for the end of the session.
Does Saoirse
Mhm.
take a telekinetic attack also?
She can't.
Yeah, she hasn't. She didn't reclaim the telekinetic armor yet. I was just mentioning she could if she needed to.
She's trying to save that. Yeah. I would shoot with an actual rifle gun.
So
Probably
So-
not very
I guess let me just clarify here because I may have not communicated it well enough.
probably not.
She's got one effort committed right now to her telekinetic armor, like she always does. I just pointed that out because in case you ended up wanting to do something else with that effort, she can instantly at any time just basically release the telekinetic armory, stop using it, and reclaim that effort to use for something else. But she hasn't had any need of it yet, so she can, and as long as she's got it active, she can shoot a billion times and the effort doesn't get expended anymore. It's just basically
So-
maintaining the armory.
Oh, I thought I would have to dish.
No, like basically she just keeps one committed, and that gives her the telekinetic armor and the ability to use telekinetic weapons as long as she has that one effort active.
Great. How do I?
So you got a telekinetic ranged attack. Do you need me to click it for you, or?
Boop.
Oh, I heard a sound. Oh, there she goes. All right. So, and you also forgot your +2. You may not have heard that part, but so yeah, just a deluge of laser fire erupts from various points in the cavern, from behind stalagmites, just peppers those two soldiers to pieces. They are quickly riddled with burning holes, and they collapse, falling inward, tumbling down the side of the cavern. And two more quickly take their place and open fire.
Like a Pez dispenser.
Okay. Uh, one of them hitting Narrow for 14 damage.
I'm gonna nope that.
Okay. She she quickly ducks back behind the stalagmite that she'd been peeking out of to fire, and it's pieces chip and chunk off of it. She slides to the ground behind it. The other was for let's see, Fred.
Boo.
9 damage for Fred. And as Fred takes a scorching blast on his armor, you all hear the teleporter shout, now! And
Cade closes his eyes.
and in the blink of an eye, teleportation is begins to activate, and you all are suddenly aware of a somewhat drier air and chattering of multiple voices, and you find
You were
yourselves.
gonna tell us that
Sorry, I was going to tell you what?
you were gonna tell us that right before you teleport the
You're.
the clacking of those pincers and the snake.
Oh, I caught. You were cutting out a bit, but I heard you say something about hearing the clacking of the snake monster's pincers. Um,
That's in my canon anyway.
it's in your head canon. Yeah. So yeah, that you might have to go back and find out later what happened to that snake monster. But well, you are all now standing in a small circle, guns raised and pointed at various angles.
What does Saoirse look like? Firing.
That's a good question. How How does she? Does she have a? Does she strike a pose? Does she just stand there with her arms at her sides, focusing?
The option I would
Danielle, you're really cutting in and out a lot. I didn't understand a thing of that.
later.
Okay. Yeah, you can establish that later. For now, let's end our session there as the other Uran soldiers gather around to clap you on the backs. Um, you're in the dust. Well, sorry, not the dusty part, but um, the dried basement room of the warehouse back in Arsenault, from which you had all, uh, I guess, begun this search. The teleporter room.
Nero hugs brother Nick. Oh, sorry. Nero tries to, as quickly as she didn't think about it before she got teleported, so she does this after. But she tries to quickly hide the fact that she's got guns popping out of her arms, and then goes to hug brother Nick.
Mhm.
Cade will say, "You missed it," and then show Brother Nick and Java the footage of the snake thing coming out of the cave and surviving the bomb. Shaped charge to the chest, and it only lost an arm, guys. That was
That's pretty
terrifying.
wicked for the video. It's awesome.
I like how Java has the logo.
I think a crucial word was lost in that.
I'm sorry.
Can you type it?
I just say I think it's fun how Java is always tying everything back to the video.
Right.
Our propaganda campaign.
After she finishes hugging brother Nick, Nero like awkwardly looks over at Java and awkwardly pauses, and then puts a hand on his shoulder and pats it.
Mhm.
What are Fred and George doing?
Yeah.
Saoirse's gonna look over at Tom. Really give him a nod. And then she's gonna look around for it.
All right.
George is looking for a superior to file his complaint to.
Yeah, he sees Reese standing there nearby, looking
I
pleased to
wonder
see them still in one piece.
if Reese had a premonition about this Karen behavior. Or maybe I should say Dwight behavior.
Michael!
Michael! Michael!
Oh no.
Cade
Oh.
will sneakily, like, the equivalent of, like, I guess, short range airdrop a picture of the snake thing before and after the bomb, and with just the text of, and they're all still in one piece.
Nice. He's
To
sending that to
Reese.
Reese.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that at least he can see the whole, these people are the worst look and be like, they're in one piece. I don't care.
Yeah. So the we'll fade to black on Reese getting, you know, a double chime on his compad, checking it real quick as George is walking over, and his look of confusion turning to a horrified expression.
Yeah.
Reese?
And Kate will see the
Reese?
expression, just text back again. That's what we felt like.
Hmm.
Reese is a good guy, though.
What were you
Yeah.
trying to say, Danielle? I think you broke up. And she's gone again.
Yeah, let's see. 5, 6. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into faves because we're already approaching our drop dead time. Looks like this time Ethan goes first. So Ethan, what was your favorite?
It's a big old nasty murder snake.
Hmm. Good choice, Ethan. That was my favorite too.
Sure it was.
Now, it would have been my favorite if it actually got to do some big old nasty murder, but
I mean, who's to say it isn't with the Tabukans?
It's a possibility.
cut to my face just looking off into the distance, the middle distance with a dreamy
Small
expression.
smile.
All right, Robert, what was your favorite?
Probably big ol' nasty murder snake, and we survived. That thing came out, I thought we were dead.
It's also a good favorite. All right, Avery.
I think I'm gonna give it to the whole scene with the shape charge, just from the point that Nero wanted the explosive and was gonna just plant it, to Kay just detonating it on sight of this thing.
Mm.
I think the whole scene was played well.
Thanks. On a personal note, I would have done it too.
Yeah. All right. So I guess this brings us to me, my favorite. Um, hmm. I think my favorite was probably uh George's sarcasm and like biting remarks because I felt like that it was just such a nice touch that there's this NPC that you know already had reason not to really love the circumstances he's in, but then is just constantly getting just knocked a little bit lower with each of these little annoyances or frustrations or just um like snubs, intentional or not. And I just thought, well done, Avery.
You could bring George back. I wouldn't hate it
Awesome.
as long as he dies eventually.
Oh, oh man, that actually, I'll just quickly say as a side note, I've thought before a really fun thing, a fun idea I've had would be to do like a one shot within my, the same campaign basically, but just with some different characters somewhere else. Meanwhile on Tabuk or something like that. Meanwhile with the tunnel snakes, uh, something like that to give the chance for a little bit more revelation to the players, um, through a different POV than usual. But that's an idea that's just been kind of marinating in the back of my mind. Not fully fleshed out yet. That's it for me though. That's my fave. Danielle, what about you?
The text.
You might just need to type yours, unfortunately. I did not catch much of that.
For text.
Yeah, something.
Oh, just play.
Nice.
Yes.
Good one, yeah.
And that's also mine, except I have it worded a little bit differently.
Okay.
I've worded it as the passive aggressive conflict between George and Nero. Not passive aggressive as a singular phrase. Nero being passive and George being aggressive.
I got you.
Because until she finally said stop whining, she had been fairly passive about the whole thing.
I got you. So,
Like Danielle's got a second fave too.
oh,
I was genuinely gonna make George get even more and more aggressive, but then you gave him a Snickers bar, and I feel like even in that universe, like you're just not you if you're hungry, you know. So I dialed him back after that. Snickers buff.
only true blood feud level of hatred could survive a Snickers attack.
This week we're sponsored by Snickers.
I admit a little bit of curiosity what his and maybe even Fred's response is. No, thanks Danielle. When uh Nero is blasting out of lasers that pop out of her arms.
I imagine he was just writing his report, his file, Ted, to complain.
Mm-hmm.
Unimpressed. He hates you.
Fair. That's fair. All right. Any revisions there, or am I good to post that into permanency?
Looks good to me. Going once. Going twice.
We're good.
Sold. All right. Well done, everyone. Thanks for the good session. And go ahead and add one more point of XP. And I think that we can safely assume that everyone is going to do their best to go and immediately get more rest, as
Yes.
much as they need to recover. Well, we'll we'll assume at least one night's rest, enough to allow a certain individual to level up. And
Subtle hint.
I'm sure you weren't going to forget, but
No, I was gonna say it after we signed off the night, but yeah.
I think a
yeah,
few of us leveled up. How does system strain work in a single night's rest? Do we remove all or some of it, or
just one per night of rest.
okay?
So let's go ahead, I guess, just for the sake of since we're going to say everyone's getting a night of rest, so we can do level ups. Everyone, make sure to do hit point recovery, except for Brother Nick and Java don't recover any hit points yet. Actually, I wonder, can they? I'm gonna say they. I'm pretty sure they can recover. Oh boy, I gotta pick this quickly here. I'm actually not super sure that they can recover system strain quite yet, while they're still, on the verge of death from their little deal.
So that Robert can be free to leave, that might be something you.
Yeah, that's be sorted out. I'll send a message in character development to let everyone know what exactly I have to say about that. But yeah, generally everyone adjust your character sheets to reflect a full night of rest. So that'll be for most of you your level in hit points, 1 system strain reduction, and of course recovering effort.
So you regain your level worth in hit points?
Correct.
Okay.
For everyone
Cool.
but Java and Brother Nick.
And nice, Ethan.
I also wish I'd gotten her number.
And I'm gonna go ahead and close out our stream.
Sounds good. Thanks everyone for listening.
Right.
Later.